Greetings, ladies and metalgens, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet, read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Wrath of the Extinct Ones, written by Wyron99. Come closer, travel, come closer, and listen to a tale. Long, long time ago, in a far distant land, there lived a species unlike any other. Talented, gifted, ferocious. They called themselves humans. Their civilization grew, their reach in the galaxy undeniable. The speed at which they reproduced, the pace of advancement they possessed. For what others strive for thousands of years, humans could, through their grit, achieve in less than a century. So fast and explosive was their growth that it ran a spear of fear through the galactic community. Fear of the unknown grasped their hearts. They could not fathom humanity outgrowing them in every measure. They would not allow it, and thus mankind was marked for extermination. Before the humans even knew any alien life, it started raining down hell on their worlds. A campaign of unimaginable proportions rolled out. Gargantuan fleets seeking one human world after another, obliterating them from existence. Humans fought back. They fought back valiantly, outgunned, outnumbered. They would rather fight and die than to bend down before the terrors of the galaxy. Swarms of human ships would be amassed, swallowing their enemies in a blaze of fire. It took hundreds of human ships to bring down even one of the alien ones. Their hulls were a wall of defiance, a metal rain in the sky. No inch was given, no step back was taken. Human ships battered the enemies like a ram, detonating themselves when no option was left. They never backed down from a fight. They never ran away. Victory or death. There was no escape. Roar of the guns deafening, flashes of lasers blinding, stench of blood all-encompassing. Fight, 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 give no ground. On the ground, battles were more equal, but nowhere near favorable. Human platoons could fight off an army. One man stopped an armor brigade for 3 days, running from cover to cover, shooting non-stop, till his lasgun melted. Fight! 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 No retreat. Others would tell stories of a human who lost all of his limbs, but through power of sheer hatred, pulled the pin on a grenade in his chest, taking the enemy commander with him. Fight! 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 No surrender! Nevertheless, no matter how hard they fought, no matter how much they sacrificed, aliens always had more to throw into the meat grinder. More metal, more flesh. But one thing the humans bought by their ferocity was time. Months turned into years as the humans fought on, as their worlds burned one by one, little by little. Rumors started spreading. First, lone warriors in strange gear, leveling up tanks with a sheer thought. Then, stories of elite assassins with abilities beyond unnatural. They would later become known as the first Psychers. Only an individual that underwent an incredibly tormentuous event would become one. But human pain and wrath was enough to awaken their true inner power. Fight, fight, fight until the end. Their name would only be whispered. Mere mention of their presence was enough to make everyone quiver in fear. They ravaged ranks of the aliens beyond all imagination. And at that moment, it seemed that mankind could turn the tides. The alien generals held a meeting to make a decision, one that was not even imaginable before. But the threat of defeat was too real and the pride was too high. Order was given to blow up the sons of mankind. The Great Battle of Osiris, the largest battle so far, a gem of the human world, was targeted, second only to Earth itself. Mankind brought everything to bear, and the aliens matched in return. Fight, fight, fight until death. But it was a trap. When the bulk of the remaining human fleet took a stance and battled, when the Psychers unleashed their kinetic powers down on the battlefields below, when almost every human army stood its ground, they launched a doomsday device into the star. In a matter of minutes, it went critical, and in a great flash vaporized the entire solar system. And it cost them greatly, but the elimination of the Psychers was worth it. Rest of the war was rather sad and quick. With all of the ships gone, with the army obliterated, with command paralyzed, there was nothing standing in the way of the aliens. Like a flame, they scorched what was left. They spared no one, no woman, no child. Everyone would die. They fought until the last one, with nothing but a spear if need be. They made them pay for every human life taken tenfold. Mars calls to war. Earth is burning. Children of Prometheus, march to your final stand. Those words were given their final shot as the last human fell a day later. Aliens celebrated. Mankind was gone. But their hubris was short-lived. Out of the hollow ruins of planet Earth, something rose. Red ruby veins contrasting a black obsidian surface, perfectly smooth, as if carved of marble. A last human spaceship, and at the shape of the perfect spearhead, a single solid mass. No source of power, no thrusters, no life support. It was something terrifying, something straight out of horror. This was not a mere ship. This was a psychic ship, a living ship, a living thing. Its power source was not a physical one, but a soul one. It was powered by two things, two strongest human emotions, echoing through eternity, sheer, unimaginable wrath and pain. Ship let out a shriek of pure, vengeful agony. The voice of the exterminated echoed through every being in the galaxy. It said, "Vengeance." Legends tell of the destruction. Legends tell of the aftermath. Legends tell of a world raised, then destroyed. Legends tell of a galaxy aflame. The last gift of humanity, unstoppable, unbreakable, unwavering. Its promise was vengeance, and it was delivered to the letter. Alien blood could fill thousands of oceans. Bitter smoke choked the galaxy. Metallic debris blocked out the stars. A dark age of their own making began, and did not stop, until the last perpetrator of mankind's destruction was dead. After the killing spree, the ship vanished, leaving behind utter carnage and a galaxy stripped of alien life. Only those who have not reached beyond their planet yet were spared. And today we are telling you a tale, traveler, a tale recovered from billions of wreckages. Beware of Doombringer. Don't start a war. Don't wake up the beast. Because in a war, there is no victory. Meanwhile, in a distant and empty void, there laid a vessel, black obsidian with mineral ruby-red veins, pulsating with a quiet hum of psychic energy. It was sleeping. It was waiting. Deep inside the mass of stone, where machine, soul, and man fused into one, there was a sarcophagus. There he was in deep stasis, the lost Psyker. Fear him, for his thirst for blood can never be filled. Fight! 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 You are next. End of story. Story number 2. It's funny though, written by YepThatsMyAccountLol. The humans are known for their odd or chaotic decision-making, but at the very least, most of it is made with a better outcome in mind. But frankly put, today I'm questioning whether a better outcome is actually what goes on in their heads when making those decisions. Today's Intergalactic Council meeting was meant to be straightforward. The Mikt and the Ligant were once again fighting over the control of a particular ocean world which, due to its unique placement, keeps switching between their systems. I don't know why a planet of 99% water is so important to their races, but it's clearly important enough to cause unrest between both of them. I was heading to the meeting room, passing by a vending machine to buy a snack in case the meeting will once again go on for a few hours. Entering, I tried exchanging pleasantries with other leaders. Welcome once again, friends, foes, and those under review. Hopefully all of you are feeling well rested for our meeting. But I was met with silence. Sitting down and looking closer, I saw most of their faces were holding unnatural expressions. Some of the more passive races were filled with fear, while the more aggressive ones were instead filled with confusions, all staring left of me. Puzzled, I turned and what the feck? Whatever was sitting in the human chair was not a human by any means. It was fully covered in fur, had a snout, and, despite sitting in a chair, seemed like a quadruped creature. It was dressed in a specially made-for-it clothing that mimicked that of human formal wear. Next to it was, fortunately, an actual human who was also wearing formal wear. The room was silent for a few more moments before the mixed leader seemed to snap themselves out of confusion in order to ask the appropriate question. "What in the ever-living howlick is that meant to be?" he asked, with enough force to snap a few other leaders from the trance. The human spoke out. Oh yes, I probably should have expected that no one here has yet gotten the news of..." He pets the creature on the head. "Our new elected leader. It's understandable the election happened just a few weeks before today, and unlike us, I don't assume anyone in your respective communities watches human TV or news," they said, almost as if this meant to be normal and understandable. The more top leader spoke next. "Ignoring the fact you somehow managed to get a creature of this size and looks onto the station and into the room," the more coat spoke with calmness and elegance unique to their race, even though I could feel the itch that they were feeding as the events unfolds. "By Rule 3 of the Intergalactic Community's rule set, a race, leader, ambassador, representative is meant to either be of their species or subspecies. Now, that is not a member of your species, and no matter how many lawyers you can scrounge up to come here, I don't think it'll be possible to..." They were interrupted as the human produced a few pieces of paper from their bag. Upon closer inspection, in short, it read, "By the will of the ex-leader of the human species, Conrad Wolski, and upon the will of the United Human Council, the individual Grand Admiral Wolczek IV of the Polish Sole Commonwealth is granted full human rights and as of 23/10/2280 is considered to be a fellow member of the human species, and any/all rules that all humans have to abide by also extend to them, with exceptions made due to their biology/psychology. A regent is to accompany them in situations where their help is needed." The Morco tip was stumped at this, and so was I, and everyone else who got to reading the document. They literally just gave an animal a decree that considered them to be human. No one had fucking done that for good reasons. The human, who I now know is meant to be a regent, started talking once again. "Grand Admiral and Leader Wojciech IV is happy to meet all of you. He climbed in the ranks to our government quickly, starting from a mere private to a corporal, then a captain, up to a Grand Admiral and now leader of humanity." He paused, knowing humans, probably for dramatic effect, and leader of bear kind. The creature turned human, or as it was apparently called, a bear, roared in a way that can only assume is meant to be an acknowledgement of the compliment made by the human. The roar caused a few of the species to trigger their fear responses, which made the situation only worse by making the room more unbearable to be in. The bear licked its paw. The regent spoke again. "Well, now that we got the formalities out of the way, let's talk diplomacy." They sat on a chair that they carried to the room's table, expecting someone to speak up. Instead, it was met with more silence. "What's wrong?" I spoke up. "Basically everything, human. Everything. First off, why?" I asked, hoping for a good answer. Maybe all the candidates died in a natural disaster, and they had to think of a good replacement in a few seconds. I was really hoping for something that could explain this. The human replied, "Why, it seemed funny." My head fell down as I lost strength in my appendages. I weakly looked at my wallet, counting how much money I had. This meeting seemed like it would go on for days, and the human at the very least supplied our station with coffee machine before all of this happened. Why do humans do this? The bear roared happily. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnold, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrakal. Thank you very much.